When I was thinking about a Bible verse to pick for this video, a lot of verses came to mind, but something I really want to start incorporating into the Holy Girl chats is just starting off these with a story from the Bible that kind of fits whatever it is that I'm talking about. And today we're in John 21, and it is specifically verse 22. But I'm going to give you some context, so I'm going to read starting at verse 15. Open your Bibles. After breakfast, Jesus said, "Simon Peter, Simon son of John, do you love me more than these?" "Yes, Lord," Peter replied. "You know I love you." "Then feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Jesus repeated the question, "Simon son of John, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord," Peter said. "You know I love you." "Then take care of my sheep," Jesus said. A third time he asked him, "Simon son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Then feed my sheep. I tell you the truth, when you were young, you were able to do as you liked. You dressed yourself and went wherever you wanted to go. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands and others will dress you and take you where you don't want to go." Jesus said this to let him know by what kind of death he would glorify God. Then Jesus told him, "Follow me." Peter turned around and saw behind them the disciple Jesus loved, the one who had leaned over to Jesus during supper and asked, "Lord, who will betray you?" Peter asked Jesus, "What about him, Lord?" Jesus replied, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? As for you, follow me." So the rumor spread among the community of believers that this disciple wouldn't die, but that isn't what Jesus said at all. He only said, "If I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you?" I'm not going to read the rest of it because you should go read it for yourself. So what I really wanted to hit on in that part of the story was when Peter was asking, "Oh, what about John? How's John going to die?" Or as John likes to call himself, the disciple whom Jesus loved. And honestly, I love that. It just really shows the fact that he wrote that, talking about himself, by the way. The disciple whom Jesus loved. Peter asked him, "What about him?" And Jesus basically said, "What's it to you?" And I just really think we all need to try and cultivate what Jesus said. What's it to you? As for you, follow me. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing another Holy Girl chat. Hi, my name is Tiffany. I am a faith-based content creator here on YouTube, and I'm so excited for today's episode because girl, we need to talk about comparison. And I know how hard it is not to compare yourself to other people. It's so hard, especially at I'm 25 years old. I'm living with my parents. I'm not married yet. I don't have any kids. I'm not in my dream career. Just a lot of stuff going on in my life that I particularly don't really want. And I used to think that at 25, I would be somewhere doing something totally different. But this is where God has me. And so when I do see people my age doing all this and traveling and living their lives and married, having babies, all this stuff, I'm like, why isn't me? Like, God, why do they get that? And I feel like sometimes it's even worse when you see this happening to people who are unbelievers. Just seeing somebody who you know they're not following God, they're not doing the right things, and they're just being quote unquote blessed with all these things that you want and that you want for your life as well. And you're asking God, when is it my turn? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything and act like I don't compare myself and how easy it is to compare myself. So I just want to start off this video by just talking about how truly normal it is to want to be comparing ourselves to other people. And comparison to me truly is an attack from the enemy. And I know the biggest common phrase about comparison is that is the thief of joy. It literally is. But at the end of the day, I really do think it's a distraction. The devil likes to get us to focus on other people's lives and what God is doing in other people's lives to try to make us down. And the devil's biggest goal is to get us to not trust God anymore. He doesn't want us to trust God at all. So, of course, he's going to put people in your life your age who are doing the same things that you're doing or in the same stage of life per se, and they're just thriving. And just everything that you want to be doing, they're doing. And for some reason, God hasn't made those things happen for you yet. And it's really almost like a test of, so you've seen someone getting married, having babies, getting your dream job, getting your dream position, traveling, all this stuff. It's really like a test. And it's, am I going to trust God to make it happen for me when it's supposed to happen, or am I going to sit here and am I going to be sad and downcast about the fact that it hasn't happened yet? Because at the end of the day, what we need to realize is that what's happening in someone else's life really does have nothing else to do with you. And saying that, I'm a big believer in like God, everything that happens to me also happens for someone else. Like the things that I go through and the trials that I go through, like the lessons that I've learned, I feel like that's meant for me to share and meant for me to give to someone else in my life, whether that's on this platform or just simply in my real life. But it gets to a point when we just, sometimes I feel like we're all just too nosy and we just really do insert ourselves into situations that have absolutely nothing to do with us. And sometimes people do that even when they're reading the Bible and they think just because this certain thing happened to David, it's going to happen to you. Just because what happened with Esther doesn't mean it's going to happen with you. You and Esther aren't similar. Y'all not the same person. What's happening to them was great, and you can learn from what happened to them and they can share it, but that doesn't mean that is exactly what's going to happen to you. And that's our problem. We just kind of like insert ourselves into it, just saying like, oh, that happened for them, that's what's gonna happen to me too. But God could have a completely totally different plan for you. You could take the same exact route, go to the same exact school for the same exact 4 years, be in the same friend group, and y'all could believe in two totally completely different lives, because your plan and their plan, it's just completely different. So I just wanted to emphasize on that, because sometimes we do truly just think just because it happened for someone else means it can happen to you. And I know that's an encouraging phrase, because when I say things like, oh, the Lord saved my life and he can save yours as well, the Lord can save your life in a completely different way that he saved my life. That doesn't mean just exactly how the Lord delivered me, that's exactly how it's going to deliver you. Just because this is how the Lord spoke to me doesn't mean this is exactly how it's going to speak to you. I'm saying the Lord's going to speak to you. I'm saying the Lord's going to save you. I'm not saying it's going to happen this way exactly. I'm not a prophet. But I'm saying I know he will do it because of what I've seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that goes back to me saying everything that happens to me happens for someone else. That was kind of a tangent. But back to what I was saying about how the devil's ultimate goal is just to try to get us not to trust God. So, of course, he's just trying to get us to look at other people's lives and just feel bad and sad about what we have going on, when there's absolutely nothing wrong with going on in my life. I'm just thinking that I'm supposed to be somewhere else instead of being grateful for where I am. The girl I was 3 years ago would be so proud of where I'm at and the things that I've overcome and that I've persevered from, but I'm too busy thinking about, oh, I'm not this yet, I'm not here yet, I'm not here yet. That's why they call comparison the thief of joy. That's taking your joy from you. But at the end of the day, it's also just a distraction. It's a distraction. Sharing a personal story, even recently right now, a lot of my coworker friends, the couples, they're all moving in together. They're not getting married per se, but they're all moving in together. And one of the greatest things that ever happened to me in life is the day I'll get to move in and live with Miles. If you're in a relationship, you probably understand getting to live with the person that you love. That is just going to be like, I'm probably going to have nothing to complain about when that happens to me, because I'm going to be on top of the world. But just because I see this happening to all my coworker friends and seeing them all moving in together, like there's that little thing that the enemy wants to drop in my head saying, hey, oh, you and Miles, y'all are never going to live together. Or you and Miles y'all should live together. It cultivates this mindset of, oh, you need to hurry up and do this because everyone else is doing it. Oh, this is never going to happen for you because you've been together longer than this couple and they're already doing this and you haven't even done it yet. So you guys aren't even getting nowhere. See, these are all the lies that Satan plants into our heads. And I'm really literally just sharing this because it's just an example of how the enemy can literally just use the people in your life to try to discourage you and take the joy away from you, when simply I should just be happy for this couple and happy for this couple and move on. Them moving in together has absolutely nothing to do with me and my boyfriend, honestly, truly. But the fact that we are so inherently prideful and just immediately think of us in our situation, we're like, oh, it gets you in this like delusional state almost, because like I know in my head that it's not that time for me and Miles to move in together, and we have this plan and we have this journey that me and him are going on, and for me to think that, hey, no, we should be doing this right now, when I know that's not, we've never discussed that. Like, we've both been content with waiting until the right time, God's timing specifically. And for me to just go off and say like, no, just because so-and-so and so-and-so moving together, we need to move together too. Like, you see what I'm saying? Comparison, it's just it's a distraction. Comparison is gaslighting you. And like literally comparison is almost like gaslighting you, saying like, oh, like so-and-so is doing this, you should be doing that too, when like in reality, like you weren't even like worried about that. You weren't even thinking about that 2 seconds ago, and you weren't even worried about it, but now all of a sudden that someone else is doing it, you want to do it. That's our pride. Another thing about comparison is that it's really just trying to get you to doubt, like I said, to doubt God's plan and to doubt what God is doing in your life. That's why the enemy is attacking you, trying to get you to think about, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this, oh, I should be here, oh, I'm so behind, I should be married by now, I should be engaged, I should be in a different position at my job, I should just it's getting you to doubt the plan that God has placed for you, and that God's plan is wrong, and that we need to hurry this up because God's not moving fast enough. Like I said, I truly do believe the enemy's ultimate goal is to just get us to stop trusting God and to ultimately walk away from God, of course. And these little plants, or seed, that's the word. I was saying plant, but seed. That's probably the biggest seed that he tries to grow. Do not water that seed, girl. Pick it up, dig it out of the ground, throw it away. Actually speak life into it. It's so important, like I've learned to like to speak life into myself and just to speak the truth to myself. Because like I said, sometimes comparing ourselves, we really get into like delusional fantasy state of saying, hey, because so-and-so is moving in together, I should be moving together with my boyfriend. But the reality is, me and Miles we're not ready to live together yet. We're not in a place to live together yet. We have a plan set and it's not right now. And that's simple. Good for them. But that's it. And God's plan has not let me down yet. He has not let me down. God's timing has not let me down. It's always been perfect. His plan has always been perfect. And his timing has always been perfect. And that's the truth. So when your feelings start telling you about so has this, you need to preach truth to yourself and saying like, God is doing this in my life. And that's beautiful, what they got going on. But what God is doing in my life is also beautiful. In Ecclesiastes, they talk about there's a time for everything. There's a season for everything. And I feel like we don't talk about that enough. There is seasons of life and there is truly a time for everything. And right now is not your time. And that's okay. That doesn't mean it's never going to happen. Doesn't mean you're behind and it's not just because it's not happening as quickly for you as it did for someone else doesn't mean you're behind necessarily. That's just your story and their story. And our problem is we need to be more like flowers. It's a pretty flower right here and a pretty flower right here, and they're just pretty flowers. They don't look at this flower and try to like pick things from that flower to make themselves prettier. They should just be the pretty flower. And we're all beautiful people, and I just feel like we should stop looking at each other and trying to become like one another and just be who God called us to be. That is what I'm trying to say right now. That is what I'm trying to say. And just something for in the Bible for you to read is Psalm 139. That is always a psalm I always come back to because it truly does emphasize how much God has a unique path set out for you, and he put specific things in you that he did not put in anything else, and he has a specific plan for you that he has for no one else, and it's unique and it's special and it's beautiful, and we need to stop trying to be like other people and take the same path that other people are taking, because the road to the Lord is narrow. Don't get like caught up in one aspect of a person's life that you're not even seeing the full picture. That's getting married, they're not even following the Lord. That's problem number one. You see people getting married. These people don't even have a relationship with Jesus, and you're trying to do the same things these people are doing, and they're not even on the same path that you're on. They're not even following the Lord, but you're looking at one aspect of your life. You're not looking at the full picture. And even when it comes to other Christian influencers, all these people, we see their lives and we see what they've shown us, but it's not the full picture. You will never know these people and exactly what is going on in their life and what they're struggling with unless you get to know them personally. And unfortunately, you don't know them personally. So you don't know the full picture. So stop focusing on one aspect of a person's life that they're showing you and thinking that it's perfect, and thinking that, hey, I need to be like this, when God is calling you to do something totally different, because he has a unique path for you. And also go read Psalm 139. That's number one. And secondly, this is something I really had to preach to myself, is that just because my life looks different and I may have achieved certain things in my life later than other people, doesn't mean that my life has been delayed. I didn't get in my first relationship until I was 23. Some people would say, oh, that's late. I didn't have my first kiss until I was 23. That's late. Thank God I didn't kiss nobody in high school. Thank God I didn't date nobody in high school. Thank the Lord. Different does not mean delayed. And just because everybody in this world is doing things at a certain time does not mean that is when things should happen. Because we all have seen people doing stuff at a certain time that we know they should not be doing. Okay. we see each other. And thirdly, just re-emphasizing what I said earlier, is that God's plan for you is specific. It is specifically for you and your life. And please stop trying to change it because you see some tiny little aspects of somebody's life and you want your life to be like that, and you want to do this and have a bunch of friends. I just look back on my life and I'm just so grateful things did not go the way I wanted. All you really need is one good friend. All you really need is to date one good man. You don't need all this experience. The world tells you need all this experience, but you can get enough experience strolling on that phone. And that's just speaking to myself personally, really, because I've felt like people have spoken into my life that I need to get more experience, or you need to date more people, because I've only dated one person in my life, and that's my husband, and I'm not gonna date anybody else. And you need to go out and do this, especially when it comes to like older people. A lot of them mean well, but at the end of the day, they're not God, and whatever God is calling you to do is specifically for you, and it could be something they have never even thought of doing before. So at the end of the day, you have to listen to God's voice over any voice, even if that voice talking to you means well. So I don't know if this video was short or long, but I just want you guys to know, stop measuring your life with someone else's ruler. Everybody has a specific timeline in their head on when things are supposed to happen, and that's just not God's ruler. God never told us this is when this is supposed to happen. You're supposed to be married by this age, engaged, have babies, do this, married by 30, all this stuff. Get a house first. Don't get married till you can get a house. All these rules, they're advice. But if you got the money to get a house, who am I to tell you what to do? Who am I? Like I said, what I was saying before about the voices in your life who are even meaning well, you cannot put those people's voice over God's voice, or what God is telling you to do. So stop measuring your life with someone else's ruler, somebody else's timeline. You need to make sure you're on God's timeline, not guides, God's timeline. There is no perfect path. It's so different for everybody. So different. Incredibly different. And that's special. We shouldn't want to all be the same. We shouldn't want to all have the same story. That's so boring. And my God is far from boring. He's very creative, and he is in the little things, and he has a specific good plan. I want to emphasize the word good. The plan God has for you is good. It's good. He has a specific good plan for you in your life. And you need to just trust the season that he has you in. Right now, I'm in a season, it feels like one of those seasons that's for growing and building, and it feels boring. And I feel like I'm getting into this routine of doing the same things over and over again. But I feel like success is built in boredom. When you wake up and you read your Bible every day, and you go to work and you go home and you do the hobbies that you love and you go to the gym, it's the same thing every single day. Then all of a sudden it's a year later and you're in a completely different spot because you just kept doing what the Lord told you to do. And Sally may be in Paris right now and you want to be in Paris too, but maybe it's not time for you to be in Paris yet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody so-and-so is getting married and you want to be married. Maybe it's not time. Maybe instead of focusing on getting married, you need to be focused on growing closer to the Lord. Maybe you need to be focusing on, am I ready to be a wife? Because it's really not a joke. I feel like we really like romanticize marriage these days. And I don't want a hard marriage. And I feel like people get in hard marriages because they just get married because of the aesthetic of getting married. That's a different video. But just trust the season that God has you in and keep your eyes on Jesus and what he's doing in your life. And be happy for other people. Be grateful for other people. And root for other people. Dang. We are so self-centered and prideful sometimes that we can't even clap for somebody else. Because we're too busy thinking about the fact that we don't have that. You can't even clap for them. That's not good. See what I'm saying? Like, you need to do some inner work. Because one thing I have learned about the Lord is the Lord will work on you first before he gives you anything. You could be praying for this job and praying for this man in your life, praying for a woman in your life. If you're a guy watching this, you could be doing all of that stuff. But if you inside are not ready, he's simply not going to give it to you. That's just because God is not going to, he's simply just not. Because you need to focus on the right things. And you need to focus on Jesus. And you have to trust. That's the biggest thing. We have to trust God, period. We need to get to know God more on a personal level. We really do. Because that is how we're going to build trust when we are in these hard seasons and in these hard times. And we're looking at somebody who is having such a great time in life. And we're maybe in more of a sad season and somebody else is in more of a happy season. You got to trust. Trust God and trust the season that you're in, and stop measuring your life by this weird ruler. You're not behind, girl. You're on time. You're on God's time. This video was more for me than for you. This video was more for me than for you. So, yes. And that's really all I have to say today. And I really do hope you were encouraged by the things that I've said, because comparison really is stealing your joy, is stealing your peace, and it's distracting you. And you need to lock in on your life and what God is doing in your life. And keep your eyes on the prize. And what's the prize? Jesus. Women are also the prize in relationships. But that's a different story. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe and share it with a friend who needs it. And I love you guys very much. I have been through so much when it comes to content creation. That's another aspect of my life that I've just been comparing. I've been doing YouTube for literally 5-6 years. And I'm just now getting momentum because this is God's timing. I couldn't imagine if I would have got the subscribers that I have now back when I first started. I wouldn't even know what to do with myself. When I first started doing this YouTube stuff, I wasn't even a Christian. Imagine if I would have got that stuff and I wasn't even a Christian. This is what I'm saying. God's perfectly orchestrated, specific, good plan. Well, that was a mouthful. But you got it. You see, you got it. So, basically, I just want to say thank you for, I think I'm at 1,800 subscribers now. I'm almost at 2K. Praise the Lord. I just wanted to personally thank all you guys who are here watching, tuning in, liking, subscribing, sharing my videos. It truly does mean the world to me. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video very, very soon. And